Today on Sports Central, we go over a March Madness game preview and prediction on the Elite Eight matchup between the San Diego State Aztecs and the Creighton Blue Jays. Huge matchup for both teams coming up here in the Elite Eight. You got San Diego State. This is a team coming off of a huge win against Alabama in the Sweet 16, knocked off the #1 overall seed in this tournament. And they are red hot as we look forward to the Elite Eight. This team is taking on Creighton, the Blue Jays. This is a team that very well could go on to win this entire thing. And the stakes couldn't be higher. The winner goes to the Final Four. We'll be going over a full game preview and prediction on this match here today, starting out with your team trends. San Diego State, once again, beat Alabama 71-64, being the final score. What a win there for San Diego State. I mean, going up against the #1 overall seed in the tournament, Alabama, a team that many had going all the way, winning the entire thing, and San Diego State knocks them off. This team is 30-6 heading into this matchup, 7-game winning streak as well, as this team did win the Mountain West tournament, plus they also won the regular season. So San Diego State, all they have left now is to win the entire, which, I mean, I'll say this. I mean, this tournament has been wide open from the start. And I mean, just looking at the bracket, I mean, you got San Diego State, you got Creighton, and then you got Florida Atlantic, who just beat Kansas State yesterday. Either Creighton, San Diego State, or Florida Atlantic will be playing for a national championship eventually. Just a wild tournament and how things have shaped up over this past weekend. But for Creighton on the other side, this team beat Princeton, one of the big Cinderellas of the tournament, 86-75, an outstanding win for the Blue Jays. And this team is 24-12 heading into this matchup. And this is the exact team that we thought we would see out of Creighton the entire season. This team did have a slump or two throughout the year, which did give this team 12 losses. But I mean, the way Creighton's playing right now, this team is definitely able to beat anyone. Games be on Sunday, March 26th in Louisville. Tip-off is 2:20 p.m. Eastern. Spread's going with Creighton here by 2.5. Over-under's 135. And the BPI is going with Creighton here 65.7%. So Creighton, despite being the lower seed in this game, is favored in this match. If you look at the tournament runs for both teams, San Diego State beat Charleston 63-57 in the round of 64. They took care of Furman 75-52 and just beat Alabama. So they beat Charleston, a team that some consider to be a dangerous team. They beat Furman, who knocked off Virginia at one point, and they just knocked off the #1 overall seed. What a journey for them so far. You look at Creighton on the other side. This team beat NC State in the first round, knocked off Baylor, and they also beat Princeton, one of the big Cinderellas of the tournament, in the Sweet 16. Your stat comparison, San Diego State averages 72 points a game. They allow 64, as in comparison to Creighton, this team averages 77 points a game, and they allow 69. And for Creighton, this team is actually 11th in the BPI. This team is top 15 in the BPI in comparison to San Diego State, who is number 24. Your notable matchups this season, San Diego State, this team lost to their best opponents this season in Arizona, St. Mary's, and Arkansas. The Arizona game wasn't very close, but they were competitive against St. Mary's and Arkansas. They split the series against Boise State, and they were 3-0 against Utah State. As for Creighton, this team lost to Texas and Arizona, but in close matchups, by the way. I mean, that Arizona game was very close. The Texas loss was only by 5. They were 1-2 against Xavier, and then they split the series against UConn and Providence this season. Your key points, San Diego State 30-6. This team is experienced. They are built to win as well. I mean, this is a team that from the start of the tournament, we've considered their experience in this defense. And I mean, some expected San Diego State to be a dangerous team, but I don't think many had San Diego State beating Alabama or making it past the Sweet 16. But here this team is. They've made it to the Elite Eight, and this is obviously a huge game for both these teams. You consider the stakes, what's on the line here, a Final Four appearance. Both teams have never made it to the Final Four, so one of these teams will be in their first ever Final Four. Florida Atlantic, of course, is another team that has really surprised. I mean, this is their first Final Four appearance and only their second appearance in the March Madness tournament. So, I mean, this has been an outstanding tournament from an upset standpoint. I mean, no one seeds are main heading into the Elite Eight. That's something that's never happened as well. I think we all kind of knew deep down that this was going to be how this year's tournament was going to shape out, just with no major teams at the top, no super dominant teams at the top, even though we did have an idea of which teams were the most complete ones. But San Diego State, definitely one of the true dark horses of the tournament. You consider this team just beat Alabama. That just proves that point further. You look at Creighton on the other side. This is a complete, well-rounded team. Kalkbrenner and Shireman, two names to keep an eye on. They are both dangerous. I mean, you look at Kalkbrenner, he averages 16 points a game. 8 rebounds a game. And obviously, I mean, you also got to consider Nembhard. Ryan Nembhard, he's really had an outstanding season, and in this tournament, he has been a key player. And you look at San Diego State on the other side, we talked about the experience. This team has got depth. They're brutal on defense, which is a key factor. Many defenses go a long ways in March Madness, and San Diego State is one of those elite defenses that is brutal to score against. But for Creighton on the other side, this team, you could say, maybe doesn't have as much depth, but their starting 5 is extremely strong. And as long as they don't get into foul trouble, this team is bound to make a deep run. And that said, huge game for both these teams. Let's get to the prediction here for San Diego State and Creighton coming up here in the Elite Eight. And this one, tough one. I mean, it could easily go either way. It's pretty much a 50-50 game, but I'm going Creighton to win this game. 72-60 is my predicted final score. The way Creighton's been playing, this team just beat Princeton. They've been playing excellent in this tournament. This has been an outstanding run for both teams. But for Creighton, I mean, this is a team that from the start of the season, we knew that they were going to be a contender. But of course, this team did disappoint at points this season with their slumps. They had a few losing streaks, and this team ended up being a 6th seed in this tournament. But this is exactly the team that we thought we were going to see the entire season. This team is definitely one of the teams to beat, I think, remaining in this tournament. And Creighton, the way they're playing offensively, this team they're clicking right now, and they are playing outstanding. I've got them winning this game 72-68. Even though San Diego State's defense does pose as a challenge for Creighton, I do think that the Blue Jays pull it out in the end. So I'm going to say 55% towards Creighton. Once again, a game that could go either way. Over-under is 135. I'm taking the over and Creighton to cover the spread in the end. But let me know your thoughts and comments below on this matchup, and I appreciate you guys watching as always. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. Catch you on the next one.